Thank you so much for speaking to us today, sir.
Pleasure.
To begin with, can you tell me a little bit about the company and the products that you manufacture?
Well, Klingelnberg is a company with a great history, more than 160 years old.
Right.
We are mainly into drive technology and metrology systems. So this means wherever gears are involved of any kind, whether it's spiral bevel gears or cylindrical gears, no matter what the application is. For example, it can be a conventional transmission system. It can be an e-mobility transmission system, which is the most sophisticated. It can be a wind energy gearbox. It can be a railway traction system. It can be aerospace. Klingelnberg is there. So we provide the technology for, especially in the field of spiral bevel gears, for designing, for optimizing, for manufacturing these gears. In case of cylindrical gears, we provide the technology for grinding. So we are in the finishing process to the highest standard.
Okay.
And when it comes to e-mobility, so we provide the entire ecosystem of optimizing the preparation for manufacturing, the very manufacturing process itself, and definitely the quality control. So in the e-mobility field, everybody is learning. So somebody has to bring the standards up. So therefore, basically right now, Klingelnberg metrology system, especially the P-series machines, because of its accuracy, repeatability, and capability, as well as the machine being the center of our closed-loop manufacturing system. The P machine has defined itself as the industry standard. Whether you talk about India, China, Europe, or US, it's an undisputed market leader. And our speed wipers, these are the grinding machines, so they provide a new definition and a new orbit for achieving the requirements of e-mobility, transmission, quality and productivity in, around the world. So this is what we are doing. I want to address the second part of your question, which is what are the challenges?
Yes.
Well, the challenges, there are two types of challenges. Or let me say, we need to define
the challenges of operating in the Indian market.
Yeah, I would come to that. So my understanding of challenge is a problem which needs to be probably fixed in a shorter time than what normally you would like to have. So that's why it is a challenge. Yeah? So right now, the challenges that we have, especially in the Indian market, is to meet the demand of our customers for quick deliveries. There are a lot of projects. Customers are giving us a lot of orders. But they would like to see better delivery from our side. This is for us definitely a challenge because the supply chains are still kind of chopped up. And on the other side, the orders are too many, and so therefore, this is something we are currently keeping as our biggest priority because that's really a high challenge. Right. And on the other side is to basically make our customers and each and every employee at the customer end aware about the demands and the corresponding solutions when it comes to e-mobility. Because there's a lot of new learning to be made in this emerging field.
So is e-mobility the next big opportunity, do you think?
Yes,
especially
definitely.
in the Indian market?
Yeah, not only in Indian market.
Globally as well.
Yeah, globally as well. It's a great opportunity. This is a new wave. Right now, the biggest investments in e-mobility, especially when it comes to manufacturing components or aggregates for e-mobility, the biggest of the investments are actually taking place in China.
Right.
And and they have a very aggressive plan. We are expecting 7.2 million annual volume of e-mobility vehicles, out of which nearly 50% would be coming out of China. So this means you need to invest more and more. So compared to that, the Indian e-mobility segment is
nascent.
still smaller.
Yes.
So this basically means that there is more potential.
Yes.
This means there would be a bigger growth wave that will come. Due to the current geopolitical situation,
Yes.
we really see that when it comes to providing components for the e-mobility transmission, especially for OEMs in the US or in Europe, we definitely see a lot more components being sourced, a lot more aggregates being sourced from India. It was very obvious at the IMTEX from the conversations that we had with our customers,
Right.
that they are very upbeat. They see a great potential not only for the Indian market or Indian domestic requirement, but also for the export business. So therefore, we are very
So
convinced.
indigenous manufacturing as well as...
Absolutely. So therefore, we are very convinced that the next wave of investments in India would be basically driven by e-mobility.
Right. Any other, fields where you see we're hearing a lot about aerospace and defense and...
That's a very good question.
Right.
We do see investments in aerospace picking up. Again, here, this is not only for the domestic market, but also a great deal driven by export requirement. You know, there is worldwide a lot of investments in aerospace.
Right.
Not only aerospace, in Navy or marine-related business. So it is Navy, it could be other shipping requirements. So this is something we see very clearly. We see the military equipment, especially related to army. This means mobile units and other howitzers. So investments in this field. So this is really something where Klingelnberg is present. So we really see this is a field in which there is an uptick.
Okay.
But something where we really see the biggest numbers in terms of investment, that is clean energy, especially wind power.
Okay.
Unfortunately, also here, the big numbers are coming from China.
Right.
We do see investments in India, mostly by European OEMs who are sourcing gearboxes out of India.
Right.
It's not that they were not sourcing from China before, but also here in this area, we see India benefiting more and more from the global shift in the supply chain. So I think we are in India seeing e-mobility, wind power, aerospace.
Right.
That's commercial vehicles. So far, we have not seen an investment wave, but I believe starting this year, the scrappage policy will get implemented,
Right.
and this should probably drive a certain investment wave in that field.
Last question, sir. You spoke about China and you talked about supply chain. Has any of that, how has the COVID-19 pandemic and all the disruptions from that impacted, when we're talking about investment in China, when we're talking about supply chain disruptions, and has the industry recovered from that?
Sorry, what was the last sentence?
Has the industry recovered from that also? You spoke a lot about,
Yes.
there is a lot of volume coming out of China, but there's also, we know that there were a lot of disruptions because of the pandemic. So what impact did that have and how is the industry recovering now?
So basically, you are asking me three different questions.
Right.
And so therefore you need three different answers. Let's say there was supply chain bottleneck in the beginning caused by container shortage and all that, which basically reverberated around the globe. There were all containers were going to China and they are not coming back, container shortage and all that. So this created a different kind of problem. It's not that material is not available, but the material simply cannot be shipped around.
Yes.
So this was the first part of the problem. did we come out of that? Yes, we came out of that. But it took its time to ease itself. We had cases where we had to wait for a ship for more than 3 months, so because containers were not available. Then came the COVID, and China shut itself down.
Yes.
And this created a massive problem in the supply chain because factories were not working, or
nothing could come in and out.
Yeah, so nothing could come in. The ships are coming, docking at the harbor, but there is nobody to unload the containers, or there are no people at the customs office. Then there are no people at the companies to produce. And because they had this particular way of locking down different areas within the country, maybe for your equipment, some sort of aggregates or components are manufactured in one state where everything is working, but other set of aggregates and components are produced in a canton or in a state where everything is under lockdown, so you are badly stuck. So this created a lot of problem, again, not only in China but around the world, in Europe, in India, in the US, and all that. Well, with the new opening up of the Chinese economy and the country itself, this is slowly improving. Okay. Have we come back to the original pre-pandemic stage? Definitely not.
It will take some time.
And to come back to the last part of your question, I do not think the current noticeable change out of to come to countries like India or at least to have a China +1 is purely driven by the COVID alone. Okay. That was a contributory factor and that was an important factor. Yeah. But I think the current geopolitical situation also is playing in the minds of industry leaders, and they want to basically de-risk themselves. Okay. So it's always good to have probably a plan B or an alternative, so that you are basically protected from geopolitical issues, as well as whether we would have, God forbid, there should not be another pandemic, but even if it happens, at least you have fallback options. So therefore I think this is a trend that will continue, and the world is probably on the way to an improvement in the supply chain situation. Yeah, this is what I'm optimistic about it. Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you for your time.
It was very informative.
Okay.
Thank you.